All right. We'll be thinking about world collaboration, but I'm trying to give you more than just like a plan that me and Elon Musk should be doing already to alleviate world stress and create world, stability and quality of life and maximize world innovation. We're going to talk about individual ideas for cool games. Yeah, and ideas for games and just collaborative idea sharing, stuff like graphic design and healing modalities like Joe Dispenza and learning modalities like Jim Quick. Something I say is like the Dispenza modalities is the average on healing, alleviate world stress, and the Jim Quick standard on retention, speed learning, memorization maths. As someone with a learning disability who came into it and then he found what are all the tools that are the most effective to, be your highest self, to be of your max efficacy. We'll get into it. Now, we'll get into Joe Dispenza. I'm thinking about just what Joe Dispenza has meant for me in my life, which is a pivotal figure in a lifelong quest for healing, to grow up around Reiki and to hear so many amazing testimonials of people through intention, through prayer, and through hands-on focused intention in a group setting, like energy healers being able to have amazing miracle recoveries in people that hadn't had success in the medical field. Even it's like long-term depression or something like internal as well, or something like severe back pains, lower back pains leading to depression and creating a negative cycle and loop between physical and mental pain, where our memories of our past stress get set deep in our musculature. So as you're moving throughout your day, those aches, those pains create these memory points to places in your life when you got that deep set pain, that agony, And through intentionality and focus, creating a comprehensive map of the human anatomy in your mind's eye so that you can imagine the energy moving through individual muscle groups. And people like ninjas, like Josh Waitzkin learning martial arts, the more you get into a physical, like art, like sports, like dance, like working out, you gain an in-depth knowledge of your body, and when you focus on it, you can relax individual muscles, you can like press individual muscles to the fullest to perform amazing feats of dance and martial arts. And you use the same kind of a sense of function of having a body awareness and enough time and sense to slow your mind and your breathing and to imagine and visualize those muscle groups. And through the shared, like people have mirror neurons, which is what they call the part of the brain that fires up when you're experiencing empathy. So if you're looking at someone, the same parts of your brain fire up as in the experience that you're observing, right? Mirror neurons. That's why we watch films. That's why we play games, how we empathize so dynamically, putting ourselves into the shoes of our favorite characters. Through that shared neurons, if you hold a space of quiet and intention and healing, there is a ripple mirrored effect in the mental and physiology of your, your partner, your subject, your interlocutor, who you are doing Reiki and energy work with and for, and holding the space and clearing the space of all negative energy and just holding the space of positive energy, like a positive energy current of love that washes away any anxieties, any past worries. And as you clear your mind of those anxieties, it ties into the mental physical connection. Finally, you can set those deep set areas of muscle pain to rest and regain the natural flow of balance. Your chakras will be cleared, your chi energy will be flowing, your mind, body, spirit connection. And as you close your eyes and imagine your body and control of your body is heightened, And no, we'll go back into it. Placebo effect. I'm trying to think whether just to make like another video and stop it here, trying to keep them clean and short, or just kind of doing something that's a little bit more, as I have so many things to think about the worlds of healing, art, design, collaboration, personal growth, personal growth, where you work out, you do something motivational to start doing positive things for yourself and create a positive feedback loop in your life. And the space of healing can create the energy to do that. If you had all this stress inside yourself that you didn't even know about, and you're trying to meditate, you're trying to work out, you're trying to do these positive things for yourself that you know would be healthy, to clear the stress and the pain first, and to come with a pain-free body and mind into those self-help things can help so much in creating a positive association with the act. Instead of thinking of working out as something like painful or hard or something, it becomes something luxurious and galvanizing that gives you energy and restores your energy current. If you can engage with energy healing, yeah, and you reduce a bunch of stress in your whole body, you tie it in with acupuncture, you tie it in with massage and chiropractic to get a deep, reset and adjustment to the whole mind body, but then to work out the energetic and emotional trauma at the same time, so you have a really clean, clear current of energy going through you, and to use that space to start a positive momentum for yourself, in yourself, with your loved ones, with your friends. Shared accountability and group motivation can be good. But even just personal stories of victory in your own life, if you're like, I was able to fully heal myself, and then to use my healed physiology with no physical pain, not even a little bit, where you turn your neck too far and you're like, or like lower back pain when you get up, like, none. Perfect physiological health. And this should be the universal standard. If you think of people like healing is something they go to when they're like critical, and I think like 40% of the stress is just like lingering. And if you can invest the time and energy to alleviate all of that lingering stress, and to imagine the shape of that happening more and more and more across the world, but to do it for yourself, and the change is 100%. Yeah. Like, it's awesome to imagine the amount of joy, collaboration, the like communicating better because of less stress. You imagine a world without stress. But to create your world without stress, that's the only thing you have to do. You can have a perfectly joyous day and move from there. And together we'll try and alleviate the maximum amount of world stress and create this like a positive example, a ripple effect, an influence, and to make that area of influence as positive as possible. And we're talking about just like personal physical health, yeah? The placebo study is one way where it's like the mind is so fucking powerful over the body. All you have to do is have a belief that your body is healing that shit. And oftentimes, that positive effect in combating any given symptom or illness is at least as effective as prescribed medication, right? And to think everyone could have this all of the time, like on something like increasing your serotonin or your red blood cell count or something. People can give someone placebo that says is doing these specific things, like engaging your nervous system or giving you more energy. And they will have these specific intention desired results because they'll explain to them exactly what this medicine is going to do, and they'll have the belief that that positive physiological effect is going to happen, and that shit happens in the bloodstream. It creates chemicals and chemical reactions that weren't there beforehand. The nocebo study is like my favorite shit, where they told a group of patients that they were giving them high-powered morphine, and like 40% of them were like the placebo. But among those people, everyone experienced dramatic pain relief, but they checked, and over half of them, I believe, had like a changed effect in the bloodstream that had the same chemical as high-powered morphine, created entirely in the pharmacy of the brain. That's the kind of power that we have when it comes to, I believe that through controlling my breathing, and focusing on it, I can increase the recovery of my muscle groups. Yeah, you can increase the amount of energy that you have, or your immune system and your immune blockers, the way you can build expectation and your thoughts and your mind having a real and genuine, powerful, amazing effect on the body, immediate, lasting effect on the body. Your belief in yourself changes the physical structure of your body every day, all the time. you can say the same of negative beliefs, but you don't want to. You want to start thinking of changing every negative belief that you might have about yourself to a positive one, to put a cast of belief on every cell in your body. And then you're working with like a super powered system. That's an amount of value that we can create, a massive amount of value that we can create instantly across the world by giving people belief in themselves and their power for healing. When people know more about the body's amazing capacity to heal, even through terminal illnesses, and you get confident in that, your immune system increases, it multiplies. Okay, and this is just like late night healing talk. I kind of made it all into one thing. I thought it'd be goofy just to have a healing talk that did like a bunch of individual pieces. I think I could do that now, because it'd be kind of cool to be able to just focus on the placebo or dispenser or any of those individual things that we touched on, but just having the space to open up the discussion and consider those things a little bit helps in the rearticulation. If you keep it fresh, if you stay with one thing and you just try and say it over and over better, it gets old. But if you keep moving, you get better and better and better at saying the things that you're saying, in finding ways to articulate yourself, in keeping an honest, genuine momentum where you can like spontaneously improvise on the spot articulations of all of the, bases of knowledge that you've learned, all of the building blocks of information that you use, of everything you've learned, everything you've memorized, what your beliefs are, to be able to touch that architecture of all of the information you've ever gained and have it like neatly organized, like a internal library with an awesome librarian who's like your point of focus. And whenever you think, what is that thing, to have confidence that your mind can give you exactly the piece of information that you're looking for at exactly the right time. So you can just like work on the fly and improvise things together. Yeah, which is like, you can sit down and write something. You can sit down and write something for a little while, and you can think about it like 3 or 5 times as long as it would take to just like say it. Like if I was going to sit there and write the thing out, it'd be a lot of me sitting there and finding the perfect thing to say, swapping out all of those potential words and meanings to try and articulate exactly what was the vision in my head and my heart before I started speaking. So it's just like more thought time. So it can be equally or more honest still than your base improv. But then as you work on writing and reading and, scripting your thoughts and your ideas down, then those become building blocks of that articulation of language that you can freestyle together effectively. Because I felt like that always worked. It's a huge time saver if you can learn to do this instead of having to script everything, to be able to at least improvise some bits and try and just like make points of memory every time you see something that adds to what you're trying to say or something that really interests you. There are ways that you can increase your retention on a specific piece of information by creating an emotional tie to it. Is all the Jim Quick super learning stuff, which I love because it's very effective, and it's been proven very, very effective. There was a time to do a personal 1-hour seminar. He was given over $10,000 an hour. $10,000 an hour man. Whew, sounds nice. But by leading tech visionaries, and if you have a bunch of money and this dude can teach you how to multiply the rate of retention on exactly the skill set that you use to make your money, god damn, that's the most valuable hour in the world for them at $10,000 an hour. Crazy. That's what they thought before he released the whole thing on Mindvalley kind of for free. But like you probably don't want to hear about this, but like in the town where I live is a transcendental meditation town in Iowa. They got goddamn famous for integrating Indian meditation techniques, where it's a mantra-based meditation. You close your eyes and you just think of a specific word that creates like a stillness and a space of mind. So it's a technique to silence the voice of the mind and find this meditative stillness, and you just breathe into it and it moves like a current of life that like reduces your stress. It's proven super effective, yeah? Just because Indian meditation and mantra-based meditation, that's like all Buddhist and Taoist meditation. Sometimes they use a different sitting position or like eyes partly open, but just doing a mantra meditation is universally found across all of the world, and they just found a way to use language to modernize it. It sure ain't perfect, for sure. Man, I don't even know why I started talking about transcendental meditation. I'm talking about articulating ideas and retaining things really well. And Jim Kwik and his amazing platform for increasing learning and Mindvalley. Oh yeah, in transcendental meditation, they have you pay like a lot of money to learn the thing. It's a basic mantra meditation, absolutely basic Sanskrit, Buddhist, like absolutely free throughout the entirety of history. And to teach you this thing, they kind of build it up like they've got secrets. And the secrets are a little bit of modern language that they use to explain something that's very, very elemental, ancient, right? Like this thing, like they ain't invent mantra meditations, but they do invent the language that they use to articulate it. But through that valuable buy-in to a lot of people, that was the value of this thing. If someone gave you the best meditation technique in the entire world, you wouldn't believe it if you hadn't invested in it in that way. And the veil of secrecy around it made it incredibly effective to the right people, and a lot of people who wouldn't have necessarily had it, like the belief that just sitting there with a mantra meditation would radically change their life. They had the presentation, and the presentation is where they made most of their money, where they explained this is a profound, ancient, super powerful technique that is going to change your life. And it's mantra-based meditation. You know, like they wouldn't believe you, but by creating this substructure of transcending that belief and giving them something that is infinitely valuable in that way, it created a healing modality that's super valuable for a lot of people all the way around the world. I've heard a number of people say learning transcendental meditation and the tools that they had to get into meditation was one of the most valuable things they ever learned in their entire life, right? Changed the way they saw things, changed the way they felt about themselves. It gave them a higher potential when they had the stillness of mind to consider things from that meditative state, you know? Huge, huge. And in the same way, for a billionaire or a millionaire to have that $10,000 buy-in to make the information even 0.1% better, if they're working with those kind of numbers, would more than pay itself off in an annual. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're annually bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars and make it 0.1% better, you know, like multiplied over Jim Kwik's asking fee. So there's ways to do that. If you think about, oh shit, you have a clever way to re-articulate something that might be anciently valuable and make it something that's a little bit valuable for a whole bunch of people, even if you didn't have the $600 buy-in or something, even if it was $10 or $5 or $1, like crowdfunding campaigns, people like to spend money. They like to be a part of something. They like to invest in it, you know, and see that investment. If it's a shared dream and they're a part of it, there is so much money out there right now. And when you think about the exchange of energy, like you're not just out to get someone's money, but to give someone something valuable in that exchange, in that transaction, you know, hell yeah, give me a bunch of money. I'll work on figuring out ways to share ideas and give examples of that, and to try and create educational modalities and healing modalities for people in the social space that I occupy on the internet, you know, to be a positive example and reaction of change and good, you know? Like if I can be meditative and productive and give examples of learning things really effectively, then you're also giving those things back as effective strategies to the community and as the world. As we start to make more of the right moves, it becomes an example of that. And instead of thinking, I don't want anyone else to have to move so that you'll be higher ahead of them,